Build the best village for your gnomes, train new gnomes, open up useful businesses, and watch out for competing villagers in Gnome Village.
And today we'll be teaching you how to play Gnome Village, game designed by Marinda Kneppers and published by Zilverspar Games.
And hello everyone, it's Stella.
And Tarrant from Meeple University.
Alright, let's get to the classroom.
In Gnome Village, players will compete against each other to build the most attractive and wealthiest villages for gnomes that they can. Players will aim to earn money, spend it to build up their villages with workshops and businesses, which players will compete for in a common supply, before sending their gnomes around to earn from those businesses and activate those workshops. Players aim to expand and grow, building more houses and attracting more gnomes. And as soon as a player has housed 5 gnomes, whoever village has the most points and coins will be the winner. Gnome Village is a tile placement game, and so to set up you'll need first to prepare the tiles. First, find the double-sided house tiles. Flip them all to the lights outside and make a stack of 5 tiles per player. Return the rest to the box. Each player takes 2 tiles from this stack for their starting village. Find all of the double-sided workshop tiles. There are 4 different types, and each is characterized by a small mushroom on one side and a large mushroom on the other. For each of the 4 types, make a stack containing 1 more tile than there are players in the game. So here for a 2-player game, for example, I would be setting up 3 tiles per type. Place them on their smaller deactivated sides and return any excess to the box. All of the tiles showing this back are roads, and there are 2 types, 4-ways and T-intersections. Each player goes through these and takes 3 4-ways and 2 T-intersections to start their villages. All remaining roads are shuffled into a face-down stack. All remaining tiles show a variety of images on one side and this green mushroom image on the other. These are called businesses. Shuffle and place the stack of businesses, then deal 2 tiles face up into a market. Nearby, place the product tiles. There's 2 copies of each, and each matches the icon showing on one of the workshop types. And shuffle and place the forest cards. Nearby, keep the Happy Gnome token and a supply of gnome coins. Players use the 7 tiles they received to build their starting villages. All tiles must be adjacent to at least one other tile, and each house must be adjacent to at least one empty road tile. Each player takes the 5 gnome pieces in their colour. However, you begin with only one of those gnomes in your village. Flip one of your house tiles over to the lights on side. This signifies that it is occupied by a gnome. And keep the rest ready for later use. You should stand your starting gnome upright. Give each player 4 gnome coins. Choose a first player and you're now ready to play. Gnome Village is played in turns, starting from the first player and going clockwise around the table. On your turn, you'll resolve the following 5 steps in order before play passes to the next player. These are Reveal, in which you'll draw and resolve a card from the forest deck. Earn and Perform, where you'll gain the benefits from tiles you've previously built into your village. Spend, where you'll spend gnome coins to make purchases from the market. And Move, where you move your gnomes around your village to activate the tiles you've placed. The aim of the game is to score points, indicated by this points icon on many of the tiles you place. And it's important to know that coins will cash in for points at the end of the game at a rate of 1-to-1. So you'll always want to make your purchases with a view towards making a points profit. The game ends once any one player has 5 gnomes in their village, and whoever has the most points will be the winner. So now let's go through each step of a turn in detail. The first step is Reveal, and here you'll reveal the top card from the forest deck and then resolve the effect printed on it. If it looks like this, simply gain the number of gnome coins showing on the card. If the card looks like this, then resolve the effect printed at the top of the card and gain the gnome coins printed in the bottom right. I'll take you through these top effects a little bit later. We need to know a bit more about the game before we understand these effects. The second phase is earn and the third phase is perform, but you won't really be able to do anything in these phases until you've had a turn where you've spent and moved, so I'll talk about those first. In the spend phase, you make purchases from the general market with your gnome coins. In a single turn, you may make as many purchases as you wish to and can afford. Your options are, you can buy a business for 1 gnome coin. You can purchase a workshop tile for 2 gnome coins, or you can purchase a product tile for 3 gnome coins. You cannot buy houses, roads, or a face-down business tile in this stage. Workshops are in limited supply. Once a deck is gone, that's no longer available for the rest of the game. When you purchase one of the face-up businesses, immediately replace it from the top of the deck. You can purchase the newly placed one in the same turn. When you take a tile for your village, add it in a new legal position on its deactivated side if it's a workshop. Legal placements follow the same rules as setup. Each tile must be orthogonally adjacent to at least one existing tile, and businesses, houses, and workshops must always be adjacent to at least one empty road tile. So, for example, this would be legal, it's adjacent to this, or this would be legal, adjacent to this tile. However, this would not be legal as the tile is adjacent only to a house, not to an empty road. This would be illegal for the same reason, and this is illegal because adjacency to the empty road is blocked by the T. If you purchase a product tile, then simply collect it. It does not go into your map. The fifth and final step of your turn is move, and here you'll move all of your gnomes around your village. At the start of the game, you'll have a single gnome. Later on, you'll have more. You may move each of your gnomes as far as you want along roads, and that includes both empty road tiles and the roads which go through buildings. And you'll generally aim to finish on workshops and businesses. There must be a valid path. In an instance like this workshop would be blocked off from these gnomes. If a gnome lands on a workshop on its inactive side, flip the workshop over to its active side. If a gnome lands on a workshop on its active side, nothing happens. If a gnome lands on a business which has a green square in its bottom right corner, then resolve the action corresponding to that green square. There's a full list of these on the Business Actions Help card. If a gnome lands on a business without a green square, then nothing happens. You cannot send a gnome to the same business tile on consecutive turns, but you can send gnomes to the same workshop tile on consecutive turns. As such, this gnome could move here, reactivating the workshop, but the other gnome could not move here because it was occupied last turn. Once you've finished moving, activating any green icons and flipping over any workshops, your turn is over and you'll proceed to the next player's turn. When it comes back to your next turn, you'll start by revealing a forest card as before, and then you'll go to the earn step. Here, look at the current positions of all of your gnomes, and any standing on a business will have some number of gnome coins in the lower left corner of the tile. Collect those gnome coins now. In this case, it's 3. Now proceed to the perform phase. In the perform phase, you'll be using your activated workshops to take actions. There are 3 different perform actions printed on the back of your round card. And these are how you get new roads, gnomes, and houses. To get a new road, spend a gardener workshop. Flip an active gardener to its deactivated side, then draw and place a random tile from the road deck. To gain a new house, you must deactivate both a painter and a carpenter. Then take a new house tile, flipped over to its lights outside, and add it legally to your map. You may have at most 5 houses. Finally, to gain a new gnome, deactivate a school workshop. You must have at least one house on its lights outside to do so, and upon doing this, flip that house over to its lights on side and place a new gnome from your supply lying down. This signifies that it won't be taking part in this turn's move phase. At the end of your turn, stand the gnome up and it will be able to move from your following turn. It's also during the perform step that you can choose to spend products for their actions. Each product corresponds to a workshop. For example, spending this gardener token is the same as flipping over a gardener tile in your village. Each of them will give you one new road. In the case of houses, these can also be combined. Here I can spend my painter tile and my carpenter token to build a new house. You're not limited to spending product tokens that you gained on previous turns. I could, during the perform phase, spend 3 coins to gain and then immediately spend a product. There does not have to be the matching product tile in the market to do so. If other players have purchased both of the schools, for example, I can still spend 3 gnome coins to take the school action. And so those are the 5 steps of your turn. First, reveal and resolve a forest card. Then earn gnome coins for any gnomes on business tiles. Then perform actions with activated workshops, including with product tokens that you've previously or just purchased. Then spend gnome coins to build new tiles or tokens into your village. And then move your gnomes to activate tiles. I'll now take you through some forest cards and businesses. If you draw this forest card, then you get a new road tile for free. A card like this lets you activate one of the matching workshops in your village for free if you have one that's deactivated. If you don't have one or they're all already active, then you gain no benefit. When the card shows this icon, then all players, not just the one who drew it, gain this benefit, although only the drawer gets the coin. This one lets you discard a business tile from an opponent's village. Gnome Village is not just about the village building, sometimes you'll be able to attack your opponents. There's also the Angry Gnome, where all players who have a gnome standing on an active workshop must flip one of those workshops back over to its deactivated side. I won't take you through every one of the game's businesses, but I'll go through a few to give you a flavour of what you might find. There are some which are only about the income and points. The hat businesses also have no action, but they're an important part of point scoring. The first player to gain a hat business also gains the Happy Gnome token. And from that point forward, the Happy Gnome token will always pass to whichever player has the most hat businesses in their village, with ties staying with whoever currently holds it. At game's end, the Happy Gnome is worth 2 points plus 1 point for each hat business that player has. Hat businesses are worth no points for a player who does not have the Happy Gnome. Many businesses give you the chance to attack your opponents, and in particular to steal their coins. For example, the police let you steal a coin from every player, the thief lets you steal 2 from one player. There's also the soldier who protects you from such attacks. Some, like the financial advisor or courier, give you ways of gaining extra income. And others give you flexibilities, like the architect who lets you rearrange the tiles in your village, or the airport which lets you use another player's business. The end of the game is triggered as soon as one player adds their 5th gnome to their board. Continue playing until all players have had the same number of turns and then count up final scores. Gain the points printed on your tiles. That'll be 2 points per occupied house, 2 points per workshop, and 1 point per restaurant business. Gain 2 points plus 1 point per hat business if you have the Happy Gnome. Finally, gain 1 point per leftover gnome coin. The player with the highest score wins, and if tied, victory is shared. And that's how to play Gnome Village. We are using a prototype copy of the game, so rules and components may not be final, and do check out the project page for the game. We'll put a link to that in the description below.
And thanks so much for watching. Your like and comments are much appreciated. Subscribe to see what's coming and have a wonderful day. See you next time.